Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. Before we get started in breaking down this video tutorial right here into code form, where I show you guys my method and how I memorize and code Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques from tutorials to memorize them faster and easier that they just sink right into your head. Before we do that, I want to go over this document because I realized there are still a lot of people out there that have watched my videos and are still left confused in what I'm doing. And I thought that I was explaining things well, right? But it wasn't until I started streaming and people have reached out and I got messages that they're still confused that I decided to rework on how I teach things for the past 2 weeks. That I really want to explain things more simpler, more easier for people to understand. Because yeah, it really sucked that people are still left confused. So I want to go over this document and make it easier for people to understand how the process of how my method works. Because it's not really that complicated. If I really explain to you and work with you, it's very simple. Okay, it might look complicated with all the equation, everything going everywhere in that equation. But no, trust me, it's literally simple. To go over this document basically explains how the first letter queuing or first letter mnemonics, how they work. Because you guys don't know, my method originated from this method of the first letter queuing or the first letter mnemonics. It's a method that actors use to memorize lines for their movie roles. Musicians use it to memorize lyrics to sing their songs, and comedians use it to memorize for their bits, for their jokes. It's a very handy tool if you want to memorize a script or whatever. So this is a document that explains how the first letter queuing method works. And as we're going over this, I will also want to demonstrate how the first letter queuing method works by basically say if I want to memorize this whole script, right? This whole document that explains the first letter queuing method and its benefits, then I would basically take the first letter of every word in this document and add a plus sign next to it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So this is basic form of the document, and then we're going to turn it to first letter queuing code form, which is basically this. So basically, as you can see, it's the first letter of every word. So for example, this right here is basically this right here. So let's just do a quick example. This method is commonly called first letter queuing or the first letter mnemonics. Actors, speakers, and students sometimes use it to reduce a long sentence into a quick memory cue. Practice recall without fully reading the script. Train the brain to retrieve the words from minimal prompts. Okay, so that's a basic form of the document, right? Now let's try to reread it again using the code form. So ready? It's beginning with T right here. This method is commonly called first letter queuing or first letter mnemonics. Actors, speakers, and students sometimes use it to reduce a long sentence into a quick memory cue. Practice recall without fully reading the sentence. Train the brain to retrieve the words from minimal prompts. So I hope you understand that. Let's do another one to be clear. So here's the basic form of this document. It turns the line into a compressed retrieval queue. Your brain does not store memories like a video recording. Instead, it stores fragments, patterns, association, cues. When you reduce a line to the first letter, you are compressing the lines into a minimal cue, forcing your brain to reconstruct the full sentence from limited information. This strengthens recall because retrieval builds memory, not rereading. Okay? Now let's look at the code form and try to do the same thing of trying to read the code form normally of how you would read it in the basic form. So ready? It turns the line into a compressed retrieval queue. Your brain does not save memory like a video recording. Instead, it saves fragments, patterns, associations, cues. When you reduce a line to the first letter, you are compressing the line into a minimal cue, forcing your brain to reconstruct the full sentence from limited information. This strengthens recall because retrieval builds muscle memory, not rereading. I did have a little brain fart when I was trying to recite this, but at this point, you guys, hopefully you guys get what I mean, right? This is what you're. So yeah, this is basically how the method kind of works. You guys kind of get the gist of what I mean, right? So we're going to read the rest in this code form, right? This is exactly all the same as the basic form of this, okay? So I'm going to go down throughout the whole thing, and it should, during my reciting, it should, you should just listen in and just basically figure out as we go on. So at 2, it forces effortful recall, the number one memory strengthening mechanism. Cognitive science shows the most powerful way to strengthen memory is active recall, retrieving something from memory with effort. Full line, first letter causes, first letter Q causes desired difficulty, partial information, a forced mental fill in. This difficulty is good. It strengthens neural pathways far more than simply reading the script repeatedly. When you look at the code form, your brain must reconstruct the line, and that act of reconstruction deepens storage. It reduces cognitive load while keeping the structure. A full sentence may overload working memory. A compressed line string preserves sequences, preserves syntax, reduce unnecessary detail, keep your memory RAM clean. Your brain can hold 6 or 9 items in working memory. Seeing a full line may overload that limit. Seeing first letter only fits perfectly into that capacity. For martial arts, it's like taking a long technique sequence into a simple outline. It preserves order, sequential memory. A big reason actors struggle is remembering the order of the line, not the lines themselves. First letter enforces sequential cues, rhythm patterns, timing, muscle memory of the script flow. Your brain uses the letters like stepping stones. This is why actors can deliver an entire monologue from a single paper of cryptic letters because the order cues are intact. It prevents over reliance on reading. When actors read full lines, they get trapped into reading loops, script dependency, passive memory. By hiding everything except the first letter, you eliminate the safety nets. This forces independence, full recall, performance memory. You wait. Let me try to renumber this. You end up knowing the line so well that you can say it even under pressure. It uses pattern completion, a natural brain function. Your brain is designed to complete incomplete patterns. This is called pattern completion, a part of memory involving the hippocampus. When you see the code form, your brain automatically tries to reconstruct. The tiger went up the stairs, past the fat, hungry pink hippo, over the orange panda who was sleeping, and into the boxing ring to fight the blue lazy dog. It can do this because the brain loves filling gaps, figuring out patterns, closing loops. This, wait, hold on. This is the same mechanism behind guessing a word from a few letters, like crossword puzzles, or something like that, Scrabble or something. Remembering a song from one note. Finishing someone's sentence. Have you ever? So basically, have you ever known someone so well that when they talk, that you can already predict what they're going to end up saying, anyways? or predicting their actions. So this is really the same mechanism like that, and this is what we're going to take advantage of and utilize to help memorize Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques. But anyways, I'm getting kind of derailed here. Let's finish this code form. Um, it turns passive data into mental model. You're not memorizing words anymore. You're memorizing mental models. Um, this TLB. Hold on. My brain's trying to figure out what those three letter means. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I think I have a brain fart. I think I need to remember what that one meant. The letters the letters become. So we go back here. The letters become nodes, anchors, triggers, compressed packages of meaning. This is why. This is why long, complex sequences like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques become drastically easier when you can. Uh, wait, be, wait. Become drastically easier when you compress them into cue-like codes, code-like cues or something. It turns memorization into problem solving, which the brain loves. Okay, so we are basically finished with this whole document. Okay, so not only did I basically went over the document of explaining what the first letter cueing or first letter mnemonics, what's the benefit and why you should use it, but also I actually use the method by doing this. This is basically the first letter cueing method that I use to memorize this document. So, how does this relate to memorizing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques? Well, instead of using letters to figure out words in a sentence of using the first letter cueing method, how about we modify that and use abbreviations and hints to figure out the steps to memorize a technique, right? So instead of using letters, we're using hints or abbreviations. And that's what I'm about to do in this video tutorial right here. Okay? Okay, so let's get started in breaking down this video tutorial. Okay, here I have my Anki app. There you go. I'm ready to add the card. So I'm going to type YouTube dash BJJ Fanatics, which is the YouTube channel, and dash knee slide triangle by John Danaher. Okay, so the first block, or hints, basically, I mean, just say it's a block. Situational 1, okay? Situational blocks are a way to indicate different types of scenarios and application that technique can be used in the video tutorial. So, I'll show you what I mean later on. So let's just get started. And also, when you want to make sure we got the timestamp ready.
We've been looking at this idea of attacking from side control, and in particular, we're looking at the idea of trapping an opponent's elbow and taking it from inside position to outside position. Once the elbow goes outside, we can control our training.
Okay, so we're going to start at... So I think when he first started is at 0010 in the video. So this is what we're going to look, is the 0010. This is when he started to put this guy into this position, okay? So I'm going to mark 0010. So it's very important that you add the timestamp at the end of the line of code. Timestamps are important to add because they are used as reference, just in case if you're reviewing something and you feel like you're not as strong as recalling the code or what you wrote, then you can use the timestamp to go find the part that you feel the most struggle. So if I wrote a line of code, and in the future when I try to review it, and if I can't remember or I'm having very difficulty to, then I would look at the timestamp, and go find this video and know exactly which part of the video I'm having the most trouble. So step 1. Okay, there you go. Step 1. And remember, this is not very complicated stuff. It's, again, you're using hints and abbreviations to help you recall the step of a technique. So we're going to use our eyeballs to look at this and figure out what's going on and explain it in a very cryptic way. Okay, how about I get my little pen out right here? I'm going to put it right here. Okay, so what am I looking at? Okay, well, I'm looking at that John Danaher is over this guy on side control. Okay, so I'm seeing that he's on side control, and he's also has his arm trapped. Okay, and also he made a grip on this guy's neck like this. So this guy is basically completely stuck here and here with arms, and John's over him. So how do I basically turn this into code-like form? Well, I'm going to extract the most key points. So right here, I want to explain that John is in side control and over him. So I'm thinking that John is basically over this guy. Okay? He's over him. He's gone over him, and he's making heavy. He's definitely making heavy. Okay? So I'm going to type MHV as abbreviation of making heavy, okay? MHV right here. John is on his back. Well, John is also going over the guy right here. So GO is the abbreviation for go over, okay? And he's also has this arm just basically restrained. So I'm going to write RES for restrained. And right here, he also has made a grip. So MG, he has made a grip on this guy's neck. Okay? So you see this? These are all abbreviations and hints. Okay? Just enough information to get your brain to think and fill the gaps in between them, okay? And what hand is John gripping the guy? Well, his left hand. Okay, so how do we put this all together, basically? Well, if I go here to my Anki app, then I'm going to type out the code looking at all of this together. So let me go over, let me write going over and making heavy that he's on side control. So I would type go over plus make heavy right here. And this is basically equal to side position, or basically safety position, right? Now I'm going to add the plus. So now this supposed to represent that John is obviously on the side control of this guy. But what else is he doing in this side control or side position? That's what the SP is for. Well, if we see here, he's restraining this arm right here, and with his left hand. So what we're going to do is LH for left hand, RES, restrain. And what is the restraining? Well, he's restraining the guy's arm with his left leg, and also blocking his arm from trying to go this way right here with this arm by cuffing around his neck. So So I would explain that this leg is going under. Oh, hold on. Let's do this. And restrain. Hold on. My brain's all over the place. I'm having like a brain fart again. Okay. So go over, make heavy, safety position or side position. That's side control. Left hand restrain. Left hand is restrain. Okay. Equals make grip. Okay. So he's restraining the guy with his left hand by making the grip on his neck right there. Now, also left leg. Left leg is also restraining his arm by going under it. So I would type left leg, restrain equals go under. There you go. So now do you see this? Does this make sense? Okay. So this is again, let's go over again. I'm going to clear this. So if we're looking at this right here, step one is go over, make heavy, safety position. John is going over. He's making heavy with the guy. And he's basically in a safety position. Okay? He's going over, make heavy. He's in a safety position. Left hand, restrain, make grip. Okay? So left hand right here is restraining the guy by making grip. Okay? Left leg is restraining the guy by going under, right here, going under this arm. And basically blocking this guy's elbow from kind of pushing out or going under between this gap right here. So this guy is basically completely in a very difficult situation, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense, right? So when I am rereading the line of code, I am visually imagining in my head of figuring out the answer, and this will help get my brain started of filling the gaps. Okay, trust me, get used to thinking hard. Okay, get used to it, but just think of these hints and abbreviation to help guide your visualization to figure out the overall answer. Okay, so this is the benefit of this kind of style of note taking, that it really helps you think and make connections with the materials that you're trying to take note of. Okay, I always say that with regular note taking, where people are so detailed and so descriptive with their notes, it doesn't really do you justice, right? It really, like, when your brain looks at the note, it's not thinking as hard because it's already like it sees the answer. So why have to work hard to figure out for the answer? It's just right there. Why even remember the material on the notes when the material is doing the work? Like when the notes are doing the work of giving the answer already, your brain you have to make your notes good, effective, that it gets the brain thinking and making connections. Okay, not use it as a reference, because once you kind of make it into a reference where it's so detailed and wordy, and the second you look at it, it gives you the answer, is always honestly turning your notes into a grocery list that it's just not as important. It's like something that you look at, and when you're done with it, you just throw it away, and your brain will do the same thing. It will look at it and just say, okay, what's the point of memorizing it? The notes are already memorizing the material for me. I don't need to really put this in my head. Okay. Okay. Anyways,
Partner's neck, pull everything in,
wow.
and connect our elbow to our own thigh.
Wow. Okay. So that's another detail.
Control our training partner's neck, pull everything.
So at at 0014, okay. So this, what I just saw is that John has literally pulled this guy's neck close to him, right? He's using his left hand right here to pull this guy's head and really tuck in that arm so it doesn't go anywhere. It's a very nice tight position. So I'm gonna use this as PT for pull towards. He's pulling towards the guy closer to him. He's closing the distance. So meaning that, you know, he's very tight. He's really like keeping the guy close to him. And with this right here, with his arm, with his left hand, he's also mentioning that he's keeping contact. He's keeping contact with his arm connecting with his left leg. So his left arm and his left leg are together. Okay? So with these 3 abbreviations and hints, this is how I would type it out. So I would say it was like is take opportunity, which is pulling towards plus closing the distance. Okay? Plus subtle detail equals keep contact. Okay, so let's just go over what I just wrote. Step 2, take an opportunity when you have the chance, right? Once you have the chance of taking an opportunity, you're gonna pull the grip, the left hand that you have, that you're gripping under the guy's neck, right, or chin, or whatever. And you're gonna pull him towards you, which leads to closing the distance. Okay? Plus subtle detail equals keep contact, which is basically explaining the arm right here, the left arm sliding on that left leg of keeping contact while he's pulling the guy towards him. Subtle detail is basically like that. It's like it's got a little tiny detail that you have to focus on, which is keeping the left arm, keeping it contact with the left leg as you're pulling through, not creating any much space. Okay. And also, I want to say that, equals make tighter. Okay, MT for make tighter. So again, guys, as you're watching this video, do not really worry about the equal signs or plus signs too much. Really put your own interpretation of why I put it there, right? Because there's not really a set rule of how this method works, okay? It's more like free-formed. However you want to use the symbols, or if you want to use your own abbreviations or hints, because you don't really have to follow my way of doing things, right? I'm more encouraging you to basically create your own code form that works for you, okay? So however you want to use the symbols or the abbreviations or hints is up to you. Okay, I'm just giving you guys an example and encouraging people to try this style of note taking because it works really well. Like I really feel like I learn a lot using this kind of method. So
in and connect our elbow to our own thigh, and as a result we can shift our chest over our trini partner.
Okay, he just slid his right arm under the guy's left armpit. So
elbow to our own.
So 0016. So step 3 plus another take opportunity, right? You're taking the opportunity to do these things in this situation. So I'm gonna clear this again. Okay. What he's doing is going under. This is a left, this is a right hand, okay? We see, so we're gonna write this, right hand is going under to a sweet spot. which is his armpit. It's basically underhooking him, and that's a huge advantage once you can get like some sort of underhook under the guy's armpits, right? There's more control. So yeah, that's what I think what I'm going to do. Take opportunity. So I'm gonna take this right here and put it into the code. So take opportunity equals right hand equals go under. Oh no, parentheses go under plus sweet spot. Oh,
5.
and he's also keeping this hand under there, keeping it secure. So I'm gonna write K and there's an S. Okay. So right here, go under plus just keeping secure.
And as a result, we can shift our chest over our training partner's face and threaten their breathing a little. So,
and this is preparing. Also, this is also preparing, right? What you're doing in these steps is like you're preparing. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so timestamp 20:00:21. Okay. Okay, so John is about to explain that when you put your chest over their body and kind of making heavy again, right? You're making heavy again. Make heavy. Also, you're going like more towards over them, going over. And you're also, but in the results of making heavy on the person by going over them, you're also you're frustrating them. Okay. FUS for frustrate. Okay. Because once you kind of start to threaten someone's breathing and making them struggle to breathe more, then it's a frustrating experience. So yes, it's like when I see this hint right here, I'm thinking, how do I frustrate someone? And eventually, using the basically how the first letter queuing method, it's a mental fill-in. You eventually kind of start to figure it out. Like, oh, the reason I'm frustrating because I'm putting my body weight all on top of them while I'm going over them. Hopefully that makes sense.
When they try to move away from the situation, it's awfully difficult. And their arm.
So I'm gonna put this in the code before I forget. So MHV. Oh yeah, I forgot the V right here. Make heavy equals go over equals frustrate. So can you see why I kind of wrote it this way? I'm making heavy in this situation by going over, and this is going to lead to my opponent, being frustrated. Right? That's how I'm making sense of it.
Gets well trapped. In the previous move, guys, we looked at the.
Oh yeah, I'm also holding this position. Holding position, and this is greater than into space 0 equals option canceled. So what I just do is that by holding the position, it's greater than what my opponent's going to do, right? Is that they're going to struggle, try to wiggle themselves, but it's not working. As long as I keep that pressure, as long as I keep my grips and everything tight, it's going to be very hard. And point number 2 right there. Anticipate opponent. Option canceled. So option canceled meaning that they have no other choice left but to be in that position. Their options are canceled. And the reason why I put 2 there is that to explain it's them, right? Their options canceled. It's like player 1, player 2. So anytime you see a number 2 next to a hint or abbreviation, that's the other player, okay? If you don't see any number next to if you see no number or even a 1, That's player one. That's kind of basically you're seeing yourself in that shoe. Okay, but you see number two, then that's the other opponents. Okay, player one, player two. Just think of it that kind of idea.
Idea
Okay.
of capturing the wrist and pressuring it downwards, pushing the wrist down. Then we looked at the idea of climbing our own body high. And as our body got high, we got an ability to swing our leg across our training partner's body and put it all the way through and pressuring it downwards. Of capturing the wrist and pressuring it downwards.
35.
It's pushing the wrist down.
Okay, so what am I looking at right here? Hold on, let's just play it. Wait, so
in the previous move, guys, we looked at the idea of capturing the wrist and pressuring it downwards, pushing the wrist down.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just capture that idea of. So basically, what John Danaher did is that, if I had to explain in code form, just make it simple, is that he, on this position, he made space, MSP. He made space right here. You see this, right? His armpit and his body is up, leaning over to this side right here. And he's, by making space, he's freeing this arm to jump over, go over, and keep it secure over the guy's wrist right here. So right here is go over plus keep secure. He went over and keep secure. Also, he's making grip. So that's how I'm gonna plug it in. And this is basically going to restrain and buy time. So restrain and buy time. Because once you kind of do this, you put the arm over the guy's wrist, you have a limit amount of time to act quick to throw this leg over. But anyways, we're going to throw it in there. So take opportunity equals make space equals go over make grip equals make grip equals go over plus keep secure right there equals restrain plus buy time. So hopefully you guys can understand what I'm doing. It's taking opportunity. If you're going to go for the triangle choke for the side position, you're going to make space by, going up and freeing that right arm. Going to bring that right arm and make a grip by going over and keeping secure their left wrist. This is restrain and buying time for you to, I don't know, he's about to explain it.
Then we look at the idea of climbing our own body high. And as our body got high, we got an ability to...
Yep. Okay, so real quick, as you can see, as soon as John makes his grip, right, holding this down, he's gonna jump up. So jump up, like make even more space and jump up. So MP plus J up, and jump up. And he is making space for his right leg to jump over and go around to hook into this triangle position. So that's what we're gonna write. Oh, I wonder where's the timestamp.
And as our body got high,
At 0040. I'm gonna say another take opportunity. Once you get the grip, equals act quick. Act quick equals make space plus jump up, right? Because John is jumping up with his body, and equals jump up plus go over plus go around plus keep secure. And I'm probably left leg. No, Han. His right leg's doing this. So, okay, so let's just go over what I just wrote. Okay, so what's happening here at timestamp 40 of what John is about to do? So as soon as he makes this grip of being heavy, of heavying, restraining this guy from bringing his arm up to block the leg from that's about to be going around, and this other arm's kind of trapped. It's kind of like, so he's in a hopeless situation. But anyways, so take opportunity, act quick, because when John jumps up and he's making this large amount of space, he better kind of quickly throw that leg over before this guy starts trying to block it with his two legs right here. More space, jump up, and his right leg, RL, is going to jump over. It's just going to jump over, and it's going to go over, go around, and basically keep secure right here on the guy's neck. Okay? And this is going to be a preferred position because, if you think about preferring position, imagine if you got the guy in an almost triangle hold, right? That's a preferred position. You would prefer that. You get what I mean? So that's how I would interpret it. But yeah, again, you guys can make your own hints or abbreviations of how you want to describe things, then yeah, go for it.
we got an ability to swing our leg across our training partner's body and put it all the way through into a situation where we could wrap.
There you go. See? That's the preferred position. Although jump over, go around, keep safe. I could just say swing around. I mean, what's the point of, making it too cryptic? Sometimes you can make it a little more descriptive or give like a better type of hint to explain it. So I would say go over. I could say this: go over and swing. SAR is swing around, keep safe. Make it a little more specific so your brain can figure out the answer more faster. But hey,
and get our opponent's arm and head trapped. Then we drove our knee down to the mat.
Oh, okay. So next timestamp.
Then we drove our
00. So how am I describing this?
our knee down to the mat.
Okay. So what did John do? It was that he's going this position. He's going over. He's basically with this leg right here. With this right leg, it's going under and going under, and this left leg right here is in line with the right leg. Okay, because you can see it, right? This is it's parallel. They're both parallel from each other, so it's kind of like straight. So parallel or in line. I use in line to describe things in line or parallel. Okay, another take opportunity once you're in this position is that I'm going to go over. Yeah, all right. And this is gonna make it easy. Once I'm kind of overing this way, my legs they have more free reign to move around, right? Less friction, right? Because all the weight's going this way. And so there's not much weight here, so not much right here. There's more free reign, more available of movement. So make it easier equals. So the right leg is gonna go under and go under, and it's gonna be much deeper. Okay? While the left leg, it's gonna be in line, and it's gonna be over that shoulder, trapping this arm right here. Because yeah, this thigh is really still in contact with this guy's shoulder, so this guy can't get his arm out that easily. So in line. So basically, he's just keeping contact with the guy's shoulder. Okay.
And as a result, we can create the perfect conditions to lock a triangle and finish. The perfect conditions. As a result, we can create the perfect conditions to.
So 101. Oh. So step 8 plus go over. Well, hold on. He didn't say. So what John's basically saying that once you're in this position, well, it's the perfect condition for this left leg to go over the right ankle to lock a full triangle. So this left leg is gonna go over. It's gonna keep secure over that ankle, and that equals closing the position. Because my idea of using a closing the position abbreviation or hint is that it's like you're closing. You're really like securing something. Really, it's like for example, a guard, right? When you wrap the guy's hips with your legs, and once your two legs overlap each other, it's literally closing the position. Now the guy can't get out anywhere. So that's how I kind of use this blocks. But again, I encourage people to make their own hints or abbreviations to describe things the way they want to. This is just me. This is how I kind of use the hints and abbreviations. So let's just finish this up. Go over plus KS equals closing position equals ATT. Because once you close a triangle with somebody, it's obviously, that's when the choke begins. That's when that's when the triangle choke starts.
Lock a triangle and finish. Now, that's, as it were, the traditional method.
Oh, I'll need to clear that.
Of hitting triangles from side control. And it's a good method. It's strong, it's fast. If the guy's not expecting it, it can definitely work. But there's an obvious problem involved here. And that's the idea that as I climb for height, space develops around my hips. And if my opponent is expecting the move, maybe I've hit the move successfully a bunch of times, I've got a reputation for it, it's not that difficult for my opponent to start pulling his elbow free before I can make the successful step.
Okay, so where were we starting on?
Not that difficult for my opponent to start pulling his elbow free.
Okay, so let's do at 130. So this is not a situation. What if your opponent, as you're doing this in this part, he starts to slide his arm out because you're making so much space. Okay, he's already expecting what you're going to do. He experienced this 1,000 times, and he sees it coming, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna pull this arm out." And there you go. You literally lost the triangle from side control. So, so, I have two options. I could either kind of just like retype this whole thing again, this whole steps, to lead to this point and then continue from here, or I can use a linking block. Okay, a linking kind of section. So this is like, it's like a bookmark, right? I'm taking a part of the code and deciding this is where I'm gonna branch off from. So let's go over the code real quick so I can show you a quick example. Go over, make heavy. So this step one is when you're in side control, okay? And you're basically, making the grip. Your left arm is going under their shoulder. Your left hand is going under behind their neck and over to their chin to have like a nice grip to pull them. This is when step two is, that's when you pull him closer to you, making it nice and tight, and you're preparing. Step three is your right hand is gonna go under the sweet spot. Wait, hold on. Right hand is going to go. Right hand. Hold on. Make heavy. Hold on. Let me just reveal that real quick. Oh, okay. Yeah. The right hand's supposed to go under this, the arm. Okay. I get it. Okay. Go under. Yeah. Okay. So you're basically doing an underhook from the side control or side position. Once you got that, you're going to make heavy on the guy. And this is going to be frustrating for him because it's going to really limit his breathing capabilities. You're going to take opportunity, make space. That's when you're going to make space, make grip, go over, keeps. Okay, so this is when you're going to kind of bring yourself up, lean to the left side to where your hand is gripping the guy's chin, and you're going to make that little space so you can free up your right arm to go over, creep over, and grab the guy's wrist and pin it down. Once you get that, then you can go up a little higher right here, make space, jump up, right leg. Okay, so this is the part right here. We're gonna use a bookmark. This is how I type out the bookmark. This is why I use situation one, situation two, step one, step one. It's basically a way to bookmark things much easier. So this is what the bookmark will look like. Step one plus, okay, so situation one, this is where going down from, dash step 6, okay, dash section 1 of step 6. There's step 6 is section 1 of step 6, okay, dash every block or every hints abbreviations. So right there is what I'm going to use to say, yeah, this is where I'm continuing off from. So anytime I look at this, I'm going to be like situation one, down to step 6 right here. It's on this first section, the first section of step 6, and it's every block in step 6, okay? Or every hints. Usually I would describe hints or blocks as blocks to make it easier, but for the sake of this video, to be more simple in explaining things as much as I can, I'm going to say, yeah, hints or abbreviations is less than anticipate opponent. So AO is anticipating opponent. Like, what if my opponent knows what I'm about to do and he's pulling his arm out? Okay. Pull towards equals take away 2. So I hope you know, again, like I always say, there's supposed to be a 2 next to, that's the, if there's a 2 next to an abbreviation or hint, that's what my opponent is doing. So anticipating opponent is that they figured this out. You're anticipating your opponent of pulling this arm out.
It's not that difficult for my opponent to start pulling his elbow free before I can make the successful step over. Okay? Because of this reason, I generally prefer to teach knee slide entries. From earlier in this video, you guys will remember that I'm a huge fan of the mounted head and arm position as the tightest position to hit mounted triangles from. Refreshing your memory, the idea of a mounted head and arm is that we end up in situations where you're mounted just around the head and the arm itself. From this situation, if your opponent goes to elbow escape, it's physically impossible. If they try to hit a kipping escape, that too is impossible. If they try to bridge, your position here is head and arm. Is that?
Oh, I see.
Refreshing your memory, the idea of a mounted head and arm is a huge fan of the mounted head and arm position as the tightest position to hit mounted triangles from. Refreshing your memory, the idea of a mounted head and arm.
Okay, so that's what he's going for. So instead of just swinging around to try to throw in into a traditional type of triangle hold, we're going to do like a mounted arm triangle. This is a better position equals. So how I would describe this is, hold on, my brain's kind of not working right now. Anyways, so John, instead of swinging around over the arm, he's bringing the knee and pushing it right into right here, next to the guy's head and shoulder, right? His shoulder's right here, his head's right here. He's going down this way, heavy, into a mount, okay? So how do we sky that? Well, this is a better position right here. So go over plus sweet spot, go over sweet spot. There you go.
Is that we end up in situations where you're mounted.
There you go. Okay, so okay equals less risky.
Mounted just around the head and the arm itself. From the situation, if your opponent goes to elbows,
it's greater than okay. I'm just gonna type this out before my brain kind of runs out of energy. Section 1. Let's see. Anticipate opponent equals pull towards. So 1, 2 on the second block right here. There you go. So this kind of linking block right here describes right here on the top position right here. So what I just wrote is that doing this the better position is going over sweet spot of what John's doing with his right leg right here, right? He's better position is right leg going over that sweet spot. The sweet spot is between this guy's head and shoulder, and it's very less risky than just jumping and swinging around your leg over the guy's arm. It's less risky, and it's greater than this right here, which is this is bookmarked to this bookmark right here. It's saying basically, oh, this is better than the guy trying to pull his arm out while you're doing the basic side control triangle setup. I mean, that's how I'm kind of interpreting it.
Escape, it's physically impossible. If they try to hit a kipping escape, that too is impossible. If they try to bridge, you're so high up on the chest you barely feel it.
Wow, okay. So, option canceled plus option canceled plus option canceled, and here's a 2. So what I just added right here is once I get them into this position of this high mount triangle lock position, they can't try to hip escape or anything because I'm so high on top of them. They can't try to do some kind of kip up kind of escape because again, there's nothing to do. They can't grab me or I'm such high on top of the mount. And another option canceled is like, yeah, again, they can't hip bump me or really do anything. Yeah.
The only real danger here, and it's not much of a danger, is your opponent throwing his legs up and you just pummel through the legs and get to the win. So this position here is in my opinion, the single best entry method for any form of triangle.
Okay. So after I finally converted all the code into from this video into code form, having new knowledge fresh in my head to prevent this information from spoiling, the last process that I do is that I use the Anki app to help me review and increase my retention of the information by using a method called space repetition. That way I don't have to forget what I just memorized. It could be weeks to months to even years. It wouldn't matter because this method will help me remember them as long as I'm consistent of using the method of space repetition. So again, once we're finished with this, I'm going to add the card. There you go. It's in my queue. So how Anki works is that whenever I open this app, whether it's on my phone or my computer, whenever I open it and the card that I just made, for example, happens to pop up for queue in the Anki app, then I immediately will try to read and decipher the code by revealing the back of the card, because this is a digital flash card. There's a front side and there's a back side. And anytime you open the app and you see a card, right, you only see the front side until you kind of click to show the answer. So I immediately, whenever the card that a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu technique that I'm trying to review, and whenever it pops up to my queue, I immediately press the button to show the answer, and now my job is just to kind of do the whole problem solving, mental fill in, trying to figure out what the code means, and if I'm able to read and decipher the code and recall the information of what I just learned from this tutorial using the code form, then I would increase the interval. I would say the card's good, and the card will be bumped up to 3 days later that I don't have to review again. And the more I get it right, the more the interval increases. So, and it'll eventually get probably up to a year that I don't have to review the card. But again, if I fail to review the card, that I'm having a trouble time of reading the cipher of the code, then I decrease the interval. And, again, sometimes back to day one, right? Because if I keep getting something wrong, then it's always good to have the app push it down to the front of the line so I can have more focus on trying to remember it. And once I kind of get used to of figuring it out and remembering it and reading and deciphering the code well, then eventually it'll slowly go back up to interval increasing again. Okay, guys, that's really it for the video. Not really my best. It's been a minute, but I'm trying to get used to trying to explain things more simpler for people to understand, because I don't want people to be left confused from my videos. I want people to learn this method and really try it out and see if it works for them, because I really believe that it's such a powerful method that really helped me out, that I really want to share it and see if it can help other people out. But anyways, guys, that's really it for the video. Thanks for watching.